I used to think I had it all figured out. Every morning, I'd line up my routine. 2 boiled eggs, a scoop of collagen powder stirred into my coffee, a thick layer of expensive face cream. I really believed I was doing everything right to keep my skin firm, my joints flexible, and my muscles strong. After all, everyone said collagen powder was the answer, right? But then came my annual checkup. I'll never forget sitting across from my longtime doctor, someone I trust deeply. She looked at me, paused, and asked, "You're losing collagen faster than you think. Creams and powders aren't enough. What else are you eating?" That caught me off guard. I thought my routine was solid. But as she explained, it all started to make sense. After 60, our bodies naturally lose up to 30 to 40% of collagen production capacity. It's not just about slapping on a cream or drinking a fancy powder. Collagen needs more than just collagen. It needs the full toolkit: vitamin C, specific amino acids like glycine and proline, minerals like silica and zinc, and omega-3 fatty acids to combat inflammation. That conversation sent me down a completely new path. I started digging into real food sources, reading scientific journals, talking to nutritionists, experimenting in my own kitchen. And what I found shocked me even more. There are foods far richer in collagen or collagen-supporting nutrients than anything you'll find in a plastic tub labeled supplement. That's why in today's video, I want to share with you exactly what I learned. The real foods that help prevent collagen loss naturally after 60. These aren't just theories. They're backed by science, tried in my own life, and they make a real difference. Not just in how your skin looks, but in how your joints feel, how your muscles hold up, and how vibrant you feel day to day. Let's get into it. Why does collagen seem to vanish so quickly after 60? First, after menopause, estrogen levels drop sharply. Estrogen isn't just about hormones. It plays a key role in collagen production. Less estrogen means your skin, joints, and muscles lose support. Second, inflammation and oxidative stress build up over the years. Tiny, invisible damage chips away at your collagen fibers daily. This isn't about major injuries. It's the slow wear from stress, sugar, pollution, even poor sleep. Third, our digestive efficiency decreases with age. Your body doesn't absorb nutrients like vitamin C, amino acids, and zinc as easily as before. The real-world effects: skin becomes thinner, more wrinkled, and starts to sag. Joints ache, muscles feel weaker, and you bounce back from simple things, like a long walk, much more slowly. I'll never forget the first time I watched my friend Linda's mother, she was 70 at the time, prepare bone broth in her kitchen. She didn't use a fancy slow cooker. Just a big pot, beef bones, vinegar, a little onion and garlic. I asked her why she took the time. Her answer stuck with me. Because collagen isn't something you get from a pill. You cook it into your life. Back then, I was relying on collagen powder and skin creams. But after seeing her glowing, smooth skin at 70, I decided to learn more. Science backs up what Linda's mom already knew. Bone broth is one of the richest natural sources of collagen, especially types 1, 2, and 3. These are the same types that support skin elasticity, joint flexibility, and muscle integrity. It's also full of glycine and proline, 2 amino acids your body needs to rebuild collagen structures. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that women over 60 who consumed bone broth daily experienced a measurable increase in skin hydration and joint comfort within 8 to 12 weeks. It wasn't instant, but it was consistent and real. Now, every morning, instead of reaching for expensive powders, I warm up a cup of homemade bone broth. Just 4 to 6 ounces is enough to make a difference over time. Sometimes I add turmeric or black pepper for extra anti-inflammatory benefits. The best part? You don't need a lot of fancy equipment. Simmer beef or chicken bones slowly for 12 to 24 hours with a splash of apple cider vinegar to help draw out minerals and collagen. Store it in jars and sip it throughout the week. For me, bone broth became less about following a trend and more about returning to something timeless. The first time I tried spirulina wasn't in some health food store. It was actually after a gym class. My trainer handed me a green smoothie. I wasn't expecting much. But after finishing it, I felt noticeably clearer, more energized, and even less sore the next day. That's when I started asking questions. Spirulina, as I learned, is a blue-green algae that's become a quiet favorite in the wellness world. But for women over 60, its benefits go beyond energy. It's an underrated collagen-supporting food. Why? Science explains it. Spirulina contains about 60 to 70% complete protein, which means all the essential amino acids your body needs to build and maintain collagen. More importantly, spirulina is rich in phycocyanin, a unique pigment protein complex. According to a 2022 study in the journal Nutrients, phycocyanin has strong anti-inflammatory effects, reducing C-reactive protein levels and supporting faster tissue repair. In simpler terms, it helps calm the invisible inflammation that breaks down collagen as we age. Since learning that, I've made spirulina a quiet staple in my routine. I blend a teaspoon into my morning smoothie, usually with almond milk, banana, and flaxseed. It's surprisingly mild when mixed right. Some days, I stir it into warm oatmeal just before serving. And for a quick snack, I mix it into homemade energy bowls made from dates, nuts, and seeds. I noticed my skin tone looking more even, my joints feeling less stiff, especially after exercise. And friends have commented on that fresh look without realizing it's just one little green powder behind it. For those trying it the first time, I always say, start small. Just a half teaspoon a day is enough. Consistency beats quantity every time. For years, I was that person with the fish oil pills in the kitchen drawer. I took them every morning, thinking I was doing my skin and joints a favor. But honestly, I never noticed a difference. It wasn't until a nutritionist friend casually mentioned, why not just eat real sardines instead, that I gave it a second thought. That simple swap changed everything. Sardines aren't just another protein source, they're a collagen-supporting powerhouse. Scientifically speaking, sardines naturally contain omega-3 fatty acids, CoQ10, and even natural collagen peptides from their skin and tiny bones. According to research published in the Journal of Clinical Lipidology, regular omega-3 intake improves skin elasticity, supports joint health, and slows visible aging in women over 60. The difference between fish oil pills and sardines? Bioavailability and extra nutrients. Sardines give you protein, calcium, selenium, and vitamin D, all supporting collagen health. Pills just can't match that complete profile. Since making the switch, I eat sardines 2 or 3 times a week. I mash them lightly with lemon juice and a bit of Dijon mustard, spread them on whole grain crackers for a quick lunch. Some days, I'll add sardines on top of a big salad with olives and cucumber. My neighbor Carol, 68, loves hers as a sandwich filler on rye bread. At first, the taste felt strong. But once I learned to prepare them simply, always choosing sardines packed in olive oil rather than soybean oil, it became second nature. And my skin. I noticed less dryness, fewer random aches, and a definite glow that no fish oil capsule ever gave me. For women over 60 looking for a practical, proven collagen support, sardines are my honest go-to now. I'll admit, the first time a doctor suggested eating chicken cartilage for joint health, I gave her a skeptical look. For years, I had avoided chicken skin and those chewy bits near the bone, thinking they were just unhealthy extras. But it turns out, I was missing something important. Chicken skin and cartilage are rich in natural type 2 collagen. While bone broth gives you type I and III collagen, type 2 is especially critical for joint support, skin elasticity, and protecting cartilage as we age. According to a 2016 study in the International Journal of Medical Sciences, type 2 collagen supplementation improved joint flexibility and reduced discomfort in seniors within just 90 days. It's not just about supplements, though. Real food provides this nutrient in a more complete matrix, along with glycosaminoglycans like chondroitin and hyaluronic acid, natural skin and joint lubricators. Once I learned this, I remembered how my grandmother used to simmer whole chickens into rich, gelatinous soup. That wasn't just tradition, it was collagen therapy in disguise. Now, I make sure to include bone-in chicken thighs or drumsticks in my weekly meals. Slow-cooked chicken soup has become part of my routine, especially on cooler days. I simmer the chicken long enough for the cartilage and skin to soften, creating a broth that's both nourishing and delicious. Sometimes I roast bone-in chicken, leaving the skin on, crispy but not overcooked. My friend Linda, 67, uses leftover chicken bones to make a quick broth overnight in her slow cooker. She swears it keeps her knees happier during her morning walks. After a couple of months of adding these foods back into my diet, I noticed less joint stiffness, especially in my fingers and knees. And my skin. A little firmer, especially around the jawline where I'd started seeing sagging. What I once avoided, I now appreciate as nature's built-in collagen source. No capsules needed. A few years ago, during a nutrition consult, I asked my dietitian why despite all my collagen powders and healthy eating, I still felt my skin thinning and my knees aching. That's when she surprised me by saying, "Have you tried dried fish powder?" I had never heard of it before. Fish. In powder form. It sounded strange. But she explained that dried fish powder, made from dehydrated lean fish like cod or pollock, delivers up to 63 grams of protein per 100 grams. More importantly, it contains natural marine collagen peptides, especially rich in leucine and other essential amino acids crucial for muscle maintenance and skin structure. The science backed it up. A 2020 study in clinical nutrition found that seniors consuming dried fish powder daily gained up to 19% more lean muscle mass in just 10 weeks, without changing their exercise routine. Unlike regular collagen supplements, fish powder is highly absorbable, working faster to restore collagen levels and protect against age-related loss. Skeptical but curious, I bought a small batch from a specialty store. I started with just a teaspoon stirred into my morning congee, rice porridge. The flavor was mild, almost savory salty but not fishy. Over time, I experimented by adding it to soups, stews, even blending a small amount into savory green smoothies with spinach and avocado. What I noticed after a month wasn't dramatic overnight results, but something quieter. My skin felt less crepey, especially on my arms. My knees didn't crack as loudly when I got up from a chair. It felt like my body was finally getting the structural proteins it had been missing. Now, dried fish powder is a permanent item in my kitchen. My sister Janet, 68, sprinkles it over her oatmeal with a bit of miso for a salty sweet breakfast twist. It's subtle, practical, and, most importantly, backed by science. Sometimes, the real collagen heroes aren't flashy powders in gold packaging. They're simple ingredients hiding in plain sight. Why real foods work better than collagen supplements after 60. When I first started focusing on collagen, like many women my age, I went straight for the powders and capsules. Collagen peptides, marine collagen, even those expensive beauty drinks. But after months of consistent use, I kept wondering, why aren't my joints feeling any better? Why does my skin still look thin? What I didn't realize until speaking with a dietitian was simple. Collagen supplements give you raw protein, but they lack critical cofactors like vitamin C, zinc, silica, omega-3s, and the enzymes your body needs to actually synthesize and use collagen. Natural foods don't have that limitation. Bone broth, sardines, chicken cartilage, these don't just provide collagen or amino acids. They also deliver minerals, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory compounds that help your body absorb and integrate that collagen where it's needed. After learning this, I made a change. I stopped buying powders and instead focused on natural foods for 2 to 3 months. The difference wasn't instant, but by the end of that period, I genuinely noticed clearer skin, firmer texture around my eyes, and most surprisingly, my knees felt less stiff getting out of bed. It's about giving your body complete nutrition, not isolated ingredients. And it's about working with what nature designed, rather than chasing quick-fix supplements. How I combine them daily. For me, keeping collagen-rich foods part of my daily rhythm isn't about making every meal complicated. It's about building a routine I enjoy, and one my body responds to. In the morning, I start with a warm mug of bone broth. I stir in a teaspoon of dried fish powder for extra protein and collagen support. It's gentle on my stomach, warms me up, and feels grounding, especially on colder days. For lunch, I usually go with either a sardines salad or chicken cartilage soup. If it's salad, I add sardines, leafy greens, olive oil, and lemon. If soup, I simmer chicken drumsticks with the skin and cartilage still on, adding ginger and turmeric for extra anti-inflammatory benefits. Mid-afternoon is when I pull out my blender. A simple spirulina smoothie with banana, spinach, a little Greek yogurt, and chia seeds. This helps keep my energy steady without reaching for caffeine or sugary snacks. Evenings are about keeping things light. Often, it's a small bowl of collagen-rich soup again, bone broth with leftover chicken or veggies, or herbal tea infused with turmeric or cinnamon to help wind down. I don't try to cram all my collagen-supporting foods into one meal. That would overload my digestion and reduce how effectively my body can absorb nutrients. Instead, spacing them across the day means I'm constantly feeding my body small, steady amounts of what it needs. Collagen, cofactors, hydration, and anti-inflammatory support. That's what really makes a difference after 60. Not perfection, but consistency.